Good morning. My name is Salima, and I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to the CA APM Community Webcast conference call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to withdraw your question, press the pound key. Thank you. I will now turn today's conference call over to Mr. Keith Palmer. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for dialing in to today's APM Global Community Webcast. My name again is Keith Palmer. I'm the Vice President of the APM Global User Community. I'm accompanied by our President, Manish Parikh, and our CA Community Manager, Mayor Greening. First, I'd like to start off with a poll. We want to know from our community how often you would prefer us to schedule these APM webcasts. Currently, we do them monthly. We have a month or two off during the year, but if you would like to voice your opinion, less frequent, more frequent, whatever, please answer the questions on the poll. This webcast is being recorded and will be posted on the community archives. If you have any questions during the presentation, please ask in the QA panel in the WebEx, not in the chat window. This presentation will take about 40 minutes, and there will be an open mic at the end for our community members to ask any questions. First, we will have John McDermott from the CA Global Escalation Management team, and then we will have Chetan Shet, CA Product Manager. Today we'll be covering APM Ideas and Escalations. One more quick update. Starting next month, we're going to have a raffle for a $100 Amazon gift card. It's a random drawing. You must be a community member and can't be a CA employee. Again, if you have any questions, ask in the QA panel. John and Chetan will answer your questions at the end of the session. John, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me on your call. My name is John McDermott, and I am the solution lead. I'm Senior Director within CA, and I work for a team called the Global Escalation Management team. And I'm what's called the solution lead. I have several products, one of which is APM. And actually, APM and communities are pretty near and dear to me. I started out my career in CA. I was managing APM support when we were bought by CA, and I also managed the user community team before JJ. So what I wanted to talk to you guys this morning was we have this team within CA called the Global Escalation Management team. It's not a team that's particularly visible to customers unless we're engaged. We thought it would be a good idea to show you and illustrate this team to you guys so you understand that we have a methodology and a team whose job it is to remediate extremely difficult and complex escalations that don't always fit well within standard procedures. And then also feedback into the organization to see how we can manage these situations better the next time. So basically, we're a team. You can see our team mission up on the slide. Our job is to ensure customer success through proactive and reactive remediation of critical situations. Now, what does that really mean? You know, we have a support team, and we have a standard process for working through support, and we're not a substitute for that. You know, you can't go red and go, we want these guys immediately. 99% of stuff goes through support. But we often find that there are situations where it's not a simple break fix. The product is broken or misconfigured. You know, it's you can bring it into support. They can troubleshoot it, reproduce it, get you a fix, send it to engineering to get it patched. I mean, that's the way it works most of the times. But where we really come in are where the situation is much broader and more critical, where a customer may have a go live that's being impacted. There may be very high level executive visibility within the customer, and the situation is often more complex than just a simple break fix. It can be multiple issues. You could have a combination of there is an issue with the product, an unknown bug, something that's complicated to fix, for example, mixed with there are issues within the customer environment. Often these situations require multiple different sets of skills and technical backgrounds to resolve, and those skills can come from different silos. So our team is set up with the objective of we got a bunch of senior people that have been around the organization and know everyone, and then we publicize this within CA that if you have a customer who is having problems, this normal process isn't working, we have a bully pulpit to go out and get the people we need to help resolve the problem. And we do that, what exactly do we do? You can see it in the bottom left box is we have an early warning management system whereby people in support can start to elevate the criticality of something so it comes to our attention and we can keep an eye on it before it goes critical. And then when something is critical, when something really has gone to the point where we need to get this fixed soon and fast, we're the ones that are brought in to organize and manage that. And our job is to develop an action plan that's agreeable to the customer and to CA, to set timelines that are obvious and agreed upon, and also to make sure that there are people attached to meeting those objectives so we know who's going to do what, when, and how, and then to make sure there are regular updates, not just to the customer, but to our executive team and our managers so that they understand what's going on so that everybody's on the same page. And that's one of the more powerful things about this team is as we've grown over the last couple of years, we've become much more visible within CA to the point now that our reports every week on what we see is critical and what we're working on are going all the way to the CEO. So there's great incentives throughout the organization to pay attention to this and then to see what we can do to make sure these situations get remediated better, that we feed back into the organization by doing root cause analysis so we have a closed feedback loop. And we can see trends in critical escalations and see what we can do, whether it's within the product or within the processes or our organization, to ensure that they don't happen again. And it has actually been very successful. I think a lot of big organizations are realizing that we're so siloed in our product lines and our skill sets that it's not always easy to deal with these. And having sort of an honest broker, someone who's outside or a team that's outside standard process, who can sort of look from the outside in, give an objective analysis on either side, customer side or the CA side, really helps moving, the old chestnut, we've seen the forest from the trees. And what we have within the organization is we have access to anybody. So if we're trying to remediate a situation, we can go to support, we can go to services, we can go to development, we can go to the SWAT teams, any of the managers, product management, and we can ask for the skill sets we need or the resources we need immediately to work on a situation. And that can be anything from talking to product management about an enhancement request that's critical to a customer and seeing how we can get that placed, to speeding up a patch within development to get to a customer, or having someone go on site, from SWAT or development to work hand in hand with the customer and our internal people to remediate a situation. And we have a budget to do this, so we don't get caught up in who's responsible for paying what. We'll pay for it, we'll send someone on site. It actually helps us to track what we spend on these escalations, and we have a figure where we can say, okay, we need to do better in these areas. Now, a big question for a lot of customers is, how do they activate this? And this is something that is key. One of the key takeaway points from this is that the Global Escalation Management Team is not something you call up support and say, can I have a Global Escalation Management Team? We definitely do not want to circumvent standard process. Like I said, 99% of stuff can go through support, and everything should begin with technical support anyway. But what often happens is internally these get escalated to us where support starts to say, hey, this is going outside our remit. We need skill sets on the network or whatever to take a look at this that we don't have. We think there's something up with the customer's environment. We might need someone to go on site and take a look at it. We think there might be issues with implementation that are coinciding with a bug. We can't remediate the bug until we understand how it's being implemented. Or the customer's an edge case we haven't seen before, we can't recreate it. And it might bubble up to us at that stage. Or your salesperson might get wind of it, or a services person might be on site. So most of the times it's internally this comes to us. But when you ask for an escalation through support, it will go to their management as well, and they may trigger the call to bring us in, and then we will engage with the customer, with any of the relevant technical people, set up the action plan, agree on what we're going to get done and who's going to do it, and then execute on it. And we have reports that we report internally and to the customer on a daily basis. This is what we're doing. This is the progress that we've made. So like I said, it's not a complicated organization, but it has been very successful in the time we've done it in moving stuff that tends to get stuck in the mud and moving it forward much, much faster. So essentially, that's it. That's what the Global Escalation Management team is, and like I said, I'm the solution lead for APM among other products. We're a two-tiered team where we have regional people that will work regionally. You know, if something comes up, they'll manage an escalation in any given region in any product. If they start to really require a little bit more in-depth work in a product area, they'll come to someone like me who's a solution lead who's specific to that product. And then, you know, I know everybody from the GM of APM to all the product managers to the support team, so I can go to anybody and sort of engage those and help with the remediation, so the regional people in the team can get the skills that they need. So that's essentially it. I'd like to open it up for questions if anybody has any questions. I'm not sure if the moderator can do that, if you can open up the questions, or if you have any on the Q&A on the website.
If you would like to ask an audio question, please press star, then the number 1. Again, to ask a question, please press star 1. And there are no questions at this time.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, and if anybody has any questions or anyone who listens to the WebEx has any, you can always pass them on to Mary, and she can pass them up to me, and I'd be happy to call you or talk to you or email you. So I'm done if next speaker can take it away.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for the presentation, John. Hi, folks. A very good morning to you. I'm Chetan from the APM Product Management team, and I'm here to present to you the idea vision, or popularly known as ideation. So basically, the agenda for now is, what we really mean by idea vision or ideation. And we'll talk a little bit about APM compatibility guide requests, and followed by Q&A. I thank John for covering the Escalations workshop part. So what essentially is idea vision? It's essentially a portal, a place where customers and partners alike can provide new product ideas and vote on existing ones. So where could you find these ideas? Where could you post these ideas? It's simple. It's communities.ca.com. You click on it on the Ideas tab, and that's where you get started. Okay. So here are some statistics. So currently we have roughly around 300 ideas, and it's still growing. And we have roughly 1,000+ members, and community posts of over 2,500. Besides that, what's important probably from your standpoint is, the conversion rate, the rate at which, we kind of consider to actively prioritize the ideas. So at the moment, 11 of the top 16 ideas are under active consideration for FY15. So it is being forecasted for FY15, and I think we should get on the confirmed items soon from us. So here is how it looks like, the APM Global User Community. We click on the Ideas tab, and that's how we get started. And you need to make sure that, we have multiple products. You need to make sure that you select Wiley APM. And here, a little bit of a word on, how we can sort these ideas. So we can kind of sort ideas on recent, most popular, top of all time, and most commented. Most commented would probably be the most controversial ones, probably. We can also search through the ideas. You can just give a keyword and search for the ideas. You can also filter the ideas by the status. So the status are like new, under review, planned, etc. And then, of course, you need to push this big button to post your idea. and make it visible for other customers, partners, and for us to review that. So here is what I was talking about, the multiple sort options, the recent ones, which sorts the idea by submission dates or freshest ideas. Besides that, we have like most popular, top of all time, and most commented ideas. So here is a sample of an idea. It's important to know that your idea needs to have an explicit name. That would make it very clear to us. And these are some of the guidelines which we require when we post an idea. That would help us to get as much details as possible. All right. You can also upload pictures to kind of give us an idea of what you would like it to be as. And then you need to post it in the Wiley APM community as discussed earlier. So what happens, once you have posted an idea, what happens? So ideas can be promoted or it can be demoted by other customers and partners. So every time you promote an idea, it kind of gets points. So every idea promoted gets 1 point added to it, and every idea demoted gets -1 point deducted from it. So why would you kind of demote an idea? Probably this is something which you may feel that this idea doesn't really add too much of a value from your business perspective. So it's important that you vote, and promoting or demoting an idea would give us a fair idea of what the exact demand for the idea is. And then what happens next? So every time an idea is posted on the idea wall, the product management team is notified that an idea has been submitted. And we have a monthly meeting, we have a monthly product management meeting wherein we sync up and discuss all the ideas that have been newly posted. We'd like to get better there, preferably every fortnightly we'd like to do these reviews. But for now, let's just say that it's a monthly session. So once these ideas have been discussed, we kind of put them in our agile backlog, and engineering does a high-level effort estimate for that. And based on the number of votes, the risk, the effort, and other business drivers, we kind of rank them in our APM backlog. Okay. Unfortunately, I think we've had a lot of questions before. We do see, some of the ideas, the top of all-time ideas, have been there for, quite some time. So at times it's really hard for us to kind of implement all of these ideas, considering the cost. Some of these ideas are really expensive to implement for us, and actually a lot, from what we actually think initially. Besides that, it may not really fit into our product region. So, that's some of the reasons why you may see some of these ideas have been there for quite some time. But yes, nevertheless, they kind of help us understand our customer needs better, and probably influence our product strategy as well, and probably justify our product investment ideas. So yes, any questions on before we move to the next section of compatibility guide requests? Any questions on the idea vision?
If you would like to ask an audio question, simply press star, then the number 1. Again, to ask a question, please press star 1. There are no questions at this time.
Okay. Yes, please feel free to reach out to me or Mary, post this session as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. So let's move to the next one. That's called as the compatibility guide request. So basically, a compatibility guide request is a request for a certification of a minor version of any third-party software. So who files it? It says program manager, but we can also reach out to our respective account teams and have it requested for. So basically, whenever you see a new version, a new minor version, take for example RHEL 6.5, you see a new minor version, say RHEL 6.5, and you see in our compatibility guide that we have not supported it. So please feel free to reach out to your account teams and raise a compatibility guide request for it. So once a compatibility guide is requested for, we have the engineering team that sizes it, and we try to kind of certify that as soon as possible. So what are the delivery vehicles for, once when we raise a compatibility guide request, what are the delivery vehicles? So it could be available in the next GA release of the product, probably in the next service pack, and probably in a very rare case in a hot fix or a major service pack release. So, and in some cases, there are cases wherein a request has to be declined. That could be again, tied to the fact that the cost is higher, or probably just we have to postpone it to a future release as such. Any questions on this so far?
To ask a question, please press *1. There are no questions.
Okay. So yes, that was it from my side. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much, John and Cheten. We appreciate your presentation today. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you.
And for the members, attendees still online, there's a poll that was just brought up under the polling section in the WebEx. If you would take a minute and just click on that, we appreciate your feedback. And thank you all for attending today's webcast.
Thank you. This will conclude today's conference call, and you may now disconnect your line. Presenters, please hold the line.